Why did the entire human race's leadership immediately break down in defenses when Luo Feng returned to Earth after breaking through to the Universe Master level? The giant axe founder traded a supreme treasure for the human race's leadership, acquiring ownership of Earth and entrusting it to Luo Feng. 18,000 years later, Luo Feng, now a Universe Master, finally set foot on his homeland again. The Earth before him was vastly different from what he saw when he returned as a Realm Master. Once upon a time, the descent of an immortal god was enough to make the entire Earth revere him. Now, immortal-level auras are no longer rare, and planetary-level warriors are as common as hairs on a cow. A security guard in an ordinary residential community might be a stellar-level being stronger than Hong, Earth's strongest being back then. And Hu Yanbo, whom Luo Feng once looked up to and who left behind an immortal legacy, would probably only be qualified to be an ordinary instructor at a martial arts school today. As for the virus and the monsters it spawned that nearly destroyed civilization, they have long since turned to dust, becoming antiques in museums for people to admire. Today, anyone who dreams of getting rich by hunting monsters is delusional. On the black market, an ordinary high-level warrior-class monster is priced as high as 1 black dragon coin. Its value even surpasses that of some war god-level slaves. However, even more astonishing than all these changes is the sky-high price of Earth's residency rights. The human race's leadership has long discovered that beings born on Earth generally possess far superior soul talents. This discovery has made Earth, especially its land, sea, and sky, the most sought-after resource among humanity. The leadership is willing to buy residency slots from Earth's native inhabitants in units of Hunyuan, a unit of energy. 1 Hunyuan is enough to purchase hundreds of rich, life-bearing planets in the universe. Faced with such an irresistible price, the vast majority of Earth's native inhabitants chose to relinquish their residency rights, thus settling into a carefree, complacent life. But the sniff of capital never sleeps. Some shrewd business forces, after acquiring enormous amounts of Chaos Yuan, did not rest on their laurels. Instead, they used their capital to venture into the universe, investing and developing, accumulating even greater wealth before returning to Earth to participate in the frenzied competition for residency rights. This cycle repeated itself, pushing the price of residency rights to dizzying heights time and again. Now, the vast majority of Earth's residency rights are firmly in the hands of a few high-ranking human figures and their affiliated forces. On the black market, even offering exorbitant prices of hundreds of Chaos Yuan, a place is often impossible to secure. Just when this seemingly impregnable power structure appeared, Earth's true master returned. Luo Feng's first step upon returning was not to negotiate with any power. He simply did 2 things calmly. First, he invited 3 guests to reside permanently on Earth: the ruler of the Qianwu Kingdom, the bearded Venerable, and the Northern Frontier Venerable. These 3 venerable figures, whose power shook the universe, readily agreed, quietly taking up residence on Earth as guardians. Immediately afterwards, Luo Feng invoked the primordial will of the original universe. Without any procedure or room for argument, all the non-native human elites and their families, who had acquired residency rights through transactions, were expelled from Earth under the gentle yet irresistible force of the cosmic rules. The expelled were naturally unwilling. They angrily tried to demand justice, and reclaim the rights they had purchased at exorbitant prices. However, they were no longer facing rules and regulations or power struggles, but rather the 3 silent guardians. The answer was self-evident. This scene finally broke the collective defenses of the human elites, who had painstakingly cultivated and planned for hundreds of thousands of years across the universe. They had invested endless resources, woven intricate networks of interests, and believed they had firmly grasped Earth's future through the rules. But Luo Feng showed them in the most direct way: before true absolute power and original ownership, all acquired rules, transactions, and calculations are as fragile as dust. He didn't need to deny the existence of those residency contracts. He only needed to exercise his fundamental right as the sole legal owner of Earth to allow whoever wanted to stay. The Lord of the Universe stands at the pinnacle of the primordial universe. Luo Feng, however, is an anomaly among them, possessing terrifying power that even true gods tremble with. Within this primordial universe, his will, to some extent, has approached the very essence of law. The human elite? They even need to carefully consider their right to be angry. Even if a great being like the Lord of Chaos City were to personally intervene, the consequences of directly challenging Luo Feng's handling of Earth would be far beyond what humanity could bear. After a long period of wandering and struggle, Earth has finally returned to the embrace of its sole master in the most absolute way. All the clamor and scheming have fallen silent before the supreme power.